for your life. Run 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 for your life.
And welcome everyone. Hope you have a lovely weekend. Or a lovely week as well. I'm back tonight alone. Sadly, no one wants to join me as a caster. Sadly, Julio, as well as Silver from last week, aren't able to join us this night. So all you gotta hear is my sweet voice for this night. Yeah, we have another fun short round this time. Of 2 events for the night, as you can see. Round 1 will be Silverstone with a 25% race and a short qualifying, as well as the second round will be Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium with another 25% race and short qualifying as well in between. Also, let's take a quick look at the standings because we had our first eliminations for this from the previous week. As you can see, Red Bull closely followed up by FuturEsports. Yeah, with 145 and 139 points respectively. Team Somnium right behind, a little bit further off, but still in there for the battle. In need of some good results there to catch up. And P3, and then we have TF10 team with 71 points. LR team with 66, Aston Martin, McLaren, and last but not least, out of the remaining teams, Formula Virtual Racing. And then from last week, we have Royal Esports as well as Dynamo Moscow, who sadly have dropped out of the elimination here of the playoff rounds. So we're only going to be left with 16 drivers this weekend. Yeah. Kind of empty now to just talk all by myself, so I gotta take over part B as well. Yeah, let's also take a quick look at the current track we will be running. As you probably all know it, we'll have the Silverstone circuit for Great Britain and Spa-Francorchamps, the longest track on the entire F1 calendar with over 7 kilometers. Yeah, I can't hover to a second opinion. Yeah, Silverstone, a fast swooping circuit with a lot of high-speed corners, especially into Stove. Some great overtaking opportunities if you can get your exits there right. Especially out of Maggots and Beckett's, if you can manage it with the dirty air to stick up right behind the other guy and then use your DR as an overtake onto the hangar straight. Kind of similar in Spa as well, if you get a good run out of La Source and then down to Eau Rouge and Radion. Then onto the Camel Straight, which is uphill, so you'll need every single bit of horsepower that you can get. Let me take a quick look how we are looking inside the lobby. We currently have only 12 people in here, so we're still missing some guys out of there. Yep, let's switch over then, and I'll show you quickly the drivers lineup we'll have right now for this event. So for Aston Martin, we have Kamar and Boda. For Red Bull, again, Zerner and Moritz. Then we have in the Ferrari the Mena and Codornignolo. Then for Team Somnium, we have Paul Vogel as well as Führer. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And McLaren back at it again, Berezny and Sabo. And then for FuturEsports, we have Sella and Puki. And last but not least for Team LR, we have Romanides and Perez. So it will be interesting to see if the momentum Zerner had from last week's Imola round, if you can continue that on towards the next 2 rounds, to maybe get that tiny bit of a gap for Red Bull. So they're a little bit more on the safer side for the future rounds, so that they can clinch the championship maybe potentially even easier. Yeah. I hope you're all ready for some great action. I am here. Waiting for the go. Yeah. let's just hop back to the events. If this should work. So, I just got the confirmation we'll have another few minutes before the event will start. And I only just realized I had the sound off. My bad. Yeah. So we got another few minutes now to spare time with you. I think I'll use that time to quickly show you our sponsors for this league, which is HyperX, BenQ, as well as Next Level Racing. So we'll see you right after the ad break. Okay, and back we are. As I see, we're almost full on the lobby. We just need a couple more drivers left to enter the lobby, and we'll be ready to go. Hopefully very soon, because I believe all of us want to catch the Austin race in real life, actually, which is going to start in a little less than 3 hours. I haven't quite caught up with qualifying and the practice sessions yet because I had some races of my own, but also looking there for some close battle at the front between Red Bull and Mercedes. Also, I see Carlos Arce, welcome. So let me see how it is going. We have almost everyone right now in here, I believe. So we're missing just one driver, which, as it seems, is one of the Aston Martin guys. So I think Carmar is the last guy we're waiting for. Hope that will happen really soon. And also, actually I can show you that real quick. As we currently have in the standings, if we're taking a look down at Aston Martin, McLaren, as well as Formula Virtual Racing, it's a close battle between those three. So Royal Esports sadly only just missed the top spot of 8th place to be safe for the next round there by 3 points. But as far as I know, now to the next round will be a tough deciding factor, especially a really important race for these last 3 guys to score some points and potentially get out of the danger zone to survive, yeah, the next round of the playoffs. So, okay, we're still missing. Some people are already readying up. Still waiting though. But yeah, last 2 guys out of this round will drop again. So, a little bit tougher job for Formula Virtual Racing to manage to get some extra points there, because they have quite a little gap there. So up to P6 they already are 10 points behind. If I see that right on my little screen, yes, they are 10 points behind Aston Martin. They'll need to make up a lot of points with that, so definitely within top 5 they need to get one guy down at the very least, and then the second guy needs to be right behind there. In the best case, both of them. In order to, yeah, not only catch up, but also to match whatever McLaren and Aston Martin are getting. Although Aston Martin tonight not racing with Daniela Haddad as far as I know, but McLaren with Berezny and Sabo, with both two really strong drivers there. Will be interesting to see how who gets the top spot. I believe it's going to be a closer battle between Aston Martin and McLaren there. But who knows? It's motorsports. Anything can happen at this point. And also then looking in the long run, I mean, LR could, worst case, same goes for TF10, if they have complete a lot of bad luck and drop out with 0 points, it might even be overtaken by the guys behind, especially because we have 2 races now coming up. So yeah, those guys will also need to take a look at the very next rounds, not this weekend, but the weekend after that. Simply because they're going to be up next, closer and closer to the drop-off points. So I think we should be ready. Yes, we are. So I'm gonna switch over for you, and we have the qualifying session of Britain. Everyone is there. And yes, it is Carmar joining up. So we have the full grid available with us. It's always so silent when there's nothing coming up and there's only one guy in the caster booth. So it seems like we still need to wait a little bit for Berezny to load in. Maybe his internet connection. Oh, and he actually left the session. So I hope that everything is fine on that end. But I think we should be fine. So let me quickly give you the track map as well as the lap data. And yes, we have, or actually now less than 18 minutes for the entire grid to post their qualifying lap time, since we only will have a short qualifying. Not the full or a one-shot qualifying. accompanied with two 25% races. So it's, again, a rather short weekend. But that gives everyone some free time to also relax and chill and maybe get something ready for the actual race in real life. But yeah, right now, Pookie, the first guy to come out of the pit lane, as well as Sven Zerner, who's also out. Still seeing that lovely white Red Bull. And also everyone behind. Let me quickly take a look. Yeah, everyone is coming out except for Michael Romanides, who's out there on medium tires. I'll be wondering, because as far as I remember, Silverstone is relatively hard on your tires. So maybe they can, yeah, make good use of it. It seems like more and more guys are coming out. Now Sella as well. The last guy to currently really get out of the box. Actually, now as well. No, Kamar is also leaving the pit lane. And we're still waiting for the second. Here for the second Aston Martin to rejoin. I hope that that's not an issue. But yeah, currently Cornignolo, Sabo, Firer, hope one of those two is correct, Berezny and Modesto are still left to exit the pits. And we have now Pookie with the first one to set a timed lap. And we already have a slow-moving car in Sector 3, but I believe that's just people giving space to one another. And by this point, still everyone but those four guys are staying in pit. Actually, no. Cordignolo as well as Modesto are exiting the pit, as it seems. So it's only left with Berezny and Firer. Actually, no, Romanides, my bad. But yeah, now, following Pookie through Maggots and Beckett's out there onto the Hangar Straight. Is this Xbox League or what? It's on PC. I just have, due to my input sometimes with the controller, I have the Xbox overlay. But yeah, this is on a PC. So coming through the last corner, always a tricky one, and a good overtaking opportunity if you can really dig and dive yourself in on the inside. Coming around, setting the first time lap for 26.3. And Zerner should be right behind there, only with the 26.4, so 1/10 behind there. And up next, I believe it's Boda who's going to set a lap time. 26.3 as well, but only just behind. Christian Hausmann, maybe a German fella. As well as Marvin Moritz settling down for 26.5, only separated by 1/1000th of a second. Meanwhile, taking a look, I think Kamar is it, who has been traveling really slow, but yeah, seems like he is aborting his lap. Sella up with a third place of another 26.3, so maybe potentially up to the end, we'll maybe see a 25.9. Time will tell. Hope that everything runs good, and we have another slow-moving car in Sector 2, but that's just Boda running slowly. So, Romanides also going out. Meanwhile, Kamar is back into the pits, and Berezny, the only guy still in the pits, hasn't moved yet. I will wonder what will happen with him. Let's take a look at Sabo real quick. He's close to finishing his lap time. 23, 24, 25, and we have 26.9, a little slower behind. And by now, also the last guys, I think it was Robanides. Everyone is now out on soft tires. So probably softs to mediums will be the way to go for this 25% race. Yeah, it's excellent. Actually, I need to tab out real quickly to move the chat real quick so I can read it better because something is up ahead. Tom, don't be so harsh. Not everyone is wearing glasses, maybe. Okay, so I just got the information. We need a quick restart. Berezny got banned from the lobby, so that's why he's in the pits. Oh no. Formula 1 sadly never really working as we wanted to. Currently I'm just gonna stay in here, wait a couple of minutes before, I think as soon as everybody's gonna leave I'm gonna do the same. But yeah, sadly, actually we already have Romanidas topping it off with the 25.9, so we definitely can see where this is going. But yeah, that's really too bad. Yeah, migrating host. We're gonna get out now, probably. Although still some people are leaving this, driving in this session. But I believe that I can get out now as well, if I'm correct. Actually, some people are still driving out. Okay, I just got invited to the new lobby, so I'm gonna exit here and do that real quick. I'm really sorry for this inconvenience. But it is what it is. Okay, let me just quickly mute everyone and we'll leave you again with the thumbnail. Let's just take a look at the track just once more. Maybe I can find something interesting in there. Is there any reason why your Steam is delayed around 15 minutes stream sniping? You mean why the entire event is currently starting a little bit later? We just had some other things to check in the background, so everything got delayed a little bit. And now it's getting delayed a little bit further because the game is giving us some hard time. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I hope that we will be able to move on in just a few minutes. And I'm watching Tyrrell and races starting now. Are you sure what TRL Limitless isn't with us tonight? Actually, he is. So that is actually rather interesting. I'm not entirely sure. Ah, we have 2 streams. So I just got that info. Second lobby is streaming as well. So yeah, we have 2 races and unfortunately ours is a little bit behind. But yeah, let me take a look. No, everything still not fully loaded, so we need to wait a little bit longer. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'll just ask around to the chat. Out of your opinions from everyone watching right now, what is your desired track between the two of those? Silverstone? Classic? It's been there for almost, I think, almost since the very first season. I think 54 was the first one, if I'm correct. As well as Spa, another classic track, receiving a lot of changes throughout the year. And we're still only 10 people, so another 6 people are coming in. Yep. So as far as I know now, we have 2 splits, sort of. The others not having any difficulties right now. Already being able to, start the race. So that's why they are currently on the 3rd lap. Our race, sadly, as it stands, still fighting a little bit of technical difficulties from the game. So in need of another few minutes. Although, I'm kind of intrigued to know now how Berezny got banned from the session, or disqualified from the session, if he hasn't even exited the pit line. I'm watching through racing around Britain. Calvin, we have 2 splits. I'm hosting the other split. TRS Limitless is not racing in. As far as I'm concerned, Calvin, we just have 2 lobbies running around. So trying to get some information for myself. Yeah, since I only started as a caster and I'm currently just casting it on every Sunday. So I'm not 100% into the entire system of everything. But I suppose it is because we have multiple entries and an F1 grid can only be 20 drivers. Switch over. Let's switch over to this. Okay, let me take a look. So we currently still only have 13 drivers in here. Still missing 3. As it seems like, again, the second Aston Martin as well as the second Ferrari and Alpine. Hope that they can join very soon, because I want to see some racing action. I suppose you do too. Aye. Hopefully one day we'll be ready to go without any problems. Some of the drivers already trying to ready up. Not too bad. Looking at the clock, we're almost 40 minutes past 6 o'clock, so I hope we don't run into any further delay after this. I believe most of us should be relatively fine. And we have no Modesto in here as well. So that leaves us only with 2 people left to join in. Hopefully within the next few minutes, as I said before, we'll have the guys joining up. Well, I believe that after the Silverstone race, the Spa race shouldn't be that big of a problem to set up, since by then everyone is still pumped, and probably won't take that long to start their races. I personally don't know which of the drivers are streaming the races. I only have now known that Limitless is streaming his point of view, but I don't know about the rest. If I take the look at the current streams, I see that Berezny is streaming it as well, so that we have from our split. And the race lobby is full again, so we can switch over again to the race. Hopefully everyone is in here and we won't have any restarts of the session anymore. And seems like everybody is in after a couple more seconds. Still kind of interesting to see that even though Mercedes have switched around from white or silver to black, it's only black for the cars, and the rest stays silver or white. And okay, if I see correct, we have a one-shot qualifying now between only 14 people, so 2 people are missing. Okay, that's a change of plans. I haven't received any info about, but as of right now, still everyone is tightly packed together, as it only seems that Romanidis and Berezny are staying relatively put. We'll take a look. I'm just gonna stay with a Futur and see where it goes, because we can only see one car anyway. Coming out onto the old start-finish straight. Here, really important to chug it in. Just keep that momentum up to have really high speed into maggots and baggots. Seeing that lovely steering wheel. Still the only team who are using a separate display or dashboard from the wheel, compared to every other team on the track. Oh, now into stove. Again, really fast corner. It just feels like you can brake even later and later every turn. Now onto the last braking point. Important here to get your grip onto the track. And we have place P1 is I think Hausmann. And some people were disqualified from the session. I believe that's due to off tracks. So yeah, we have actually Michael Romanides in P1 with a 26.0, then Berezny in 26.1. That surely is important for him to secure a good place and not get dropped out. Then we have Selle, Puki, Boda, Zerner, Führer, Amengol, Corniniolo, Kamar, Sabo, Modesto, Nardi, and last but not least, Moritz. Although Nardi and Moritz both got disqualified. Meanwhile, Modesto has tried to make it work on medium tires. That could really benefit from it since he only qualified P12. But again, since it's only one-shot qualifying, the field is relatively spread along more evenly. Simply because everybody has just one lap, and it's always the question of yourself, how much do you want to risk it? No, seems like we're gonna stay with a clear sky for today. Or tonight. Still haven't seen a rain race in quite a while now. So I wonder when we will have the next race. I mean, Spa is usually kind of same for Silverstone, but yeah, Spa is usually a place where we'll get some rain. Now we got another 16 seconds left to go. And then everything should be up and running. And we have the starting grid. Everybody's going to form up. We'll have a formation lap at first. And yeah, it is Romanides leading away in the Alpine. Manuel Wu. We actually don't have a Manuel Wu in here. But for some reason, we only have 14 people in this group tonight. 2 people have dropped out. And as it seems, yeah, it's the second Aston Martin as well as... What else is missing? Second Aston Martin. We have both Alpha Tauris. We have both Alpines. Yeah, we have both Alpines. We have both Red Bulls. Both McLarens. Both Ferraris. Surely need to have someone, only one guy. Am I blind? Oh yeah, right, and we only have one Mercedes, so we're missing the second Mercedes as well as the second Aston Martin. Well, that surely won't be good. Especially for the Aston Martin. Although, they're at the top of the last 3. Having only one guy, especially in a group of only 14 people where it's a lot easier to get your points, it is definitely a bit tougher. So let me check the here starting tire compound. We have everyone in the top 10, all the way from Romanides down to Kamar, starting on soft tires, and then everyone outside of the top 10, Sabo, Modesto, Nardi, and Moritz, are starting on mediums. Who I think will win it. Since I'm really I was really intrigued by Zerner in Imola showing a phenomenal pace, or Berezny in China, I kind of have my money on those, but also knowing that Scylla and Pookie also did really well in the last rounds. Although those guys had a little bit problems with off tracks, so I'll wait with my answer a couple of minutes. But yeah, definitely have Berezny and Zerner really high in my ranking. Although we're gonna see how the other guys on the medium tires can play this out. Anyway, race has started, and already we have Sella and Berezny both with the drive-through for a jump start. That effectively killing their race. Since a 25% race, you cannot make that time up. Especially around the track for like Silverstone, where the pit lane is really long. I mean, you can see it a little bit on the track map, but these guys won't be able to make that up. So, knowing that, we'll switch over to Romanides, who effectively is leading the Grand Prix right now. Yeah, what a reaction time. I think they tried to do a Bottas, but it didn't work out. Yeah, meanwhile, taking a look, we have only Sabo and Zerner making up a spot. So right now, I think I would put my money on Pookie or Zerner, to be honest. Having to see how Zerner will play this out. Jumping from P6 then after this lap, if both decide to come in. I believe probably one of the guys will come in one lap earlier. Trying to use the fresh air. So those two guys at the very front are really trying to kick it away. But yeah, kind of have my money now on Zerner, to be honest. Okay, so both Berezny as well as Silla are coming in. Knowing they had a 3-second gap, I believe you're losing around almost up to 25 to 30 seconds for the drive-through. We'll wait and see how that turns out for them now in the end. But yeah, surely their race is over. Now, taking a look in between. Everyone is driving in a relatively close field. All of them 3 to 4 tenths away from one another. And Nardi also in the meantime went into the pits. So he switched over to soft tires. I wonder if that was a strategy or if he got some front wing damage. I believe it was due to damage probably. But yeah, now Moritz, last of the pack, leading the taillight, already having a slight gap to him, so he will drop out of the DRS zone. Knowing that he's on medium tires, his job needed to be, or still needs to be, to stay within that DRS zone to not lose track of the others. Taking a look at the front, Romanides, Pookie and Zerner, as well as everyone behind them, everyone is within that 1 second. Currently still waiting for the DRS to open up next lap, but I believe that we won't see that much of a movement, at least not for now, until the first pit stops come in. And Romani is kicking off with a fast lap time of 28.2. Trying to push away from the rest of the pack. Maybe we'll see Zerner dropping out if Pookie and Romanides work it. Since seeing that Zerner is almost 9 tenths away, now over 9 tenths. For a brief moment. Meanwhile, Sabo has taken on Modesto on the inside. Sally missed that, but now he needs to make it up because he's out of that 1 second zone and he's on the medium tires compared to the guys in front. Taking a look there, also I believe that Modesto won't give up that easily. Well, at the back of that other relative pack within the front. Corniolo, closest one to the guy up ahead, less than 3 tenths away. Now we'll see how the hangar straight will play out for them. It'll probably be one big train with those gaps, especially after Maggots and Beckett's with the dirty air. Either you put pressure on the guy in front and then work it through, or you just have a magic button to get that pass or get close to that pass. Because Pookie really is close on him, but not enough to make that move. So taking a look, Sabo, yep, losing the pack a little bit, as well as Kalmar to Modesto. So we already have those guys running their own race almost now, considering these short 25% races. If you're out of the DRS zone, it's over for you. Meanwhile, taking a look, Modesto trying it on Sabo and making the move now with a DRS. Nardi in the back, securing the fastest lap time. Won't get the point though, because he's outside of the top 10 for now. At the top, Zerner, now really close on to Pookie. Had a quick peek there, maybe to unsettle Pookie a little bit. But he is really close there. Maybe he's running also a little bit of more downforce to stick with Pookie a little bit better through maggots and packets there. And seems like he's really close, so we'll see. Actually, I'm gonna take a look real quick and see if I can get the telemetry. Using his DRS and ERS a little bit, and we almost have it 3 wide there. But Pookie, now side by side with Romanides, can't make it stick, now having to defend from Sven Zerner. Boda, all the way in P4, having the time of his lives, first row seats to witness the action. Now we have the first guy for speeding in pit line, Kamara. Not looking good for him, but anyway, we continue on. Zerner still looking up to Pookie and Romanides. I believe maybe he will try to do the overcut on these two, or the undercut, depending on when the others are going to come in, because we almost already have the halfway point of this race. Again, making that slight move on to the outside there, or to the inside, to unsettle and just put that extra bit of pressure on there. Always an important way of playing a dogfight between one and another driver. Just making sure that the other guy sees you, he has you in his mind, so that you can just take a look and see where the chunk in his armor is and where he's doing that mistake, so you can stab him and effectively overtake him. Yeah, meanwhile, at the back, not really that much of movement. The only guy really close to one another is Cordoniolo to Armengol, but he's moving a little bit further away. So those guys will probably stay as it is. And now Istvan, Pookie taking on Romanides, and this time he's far enough ahead to make it through. Maybe Zerner will take a look on the inside there, but no. And Pookie, first guy to come in, so he effectively will do the undercut on Romanides and Zerner. Knowing that these races are this short after 6 laps, he surely is coming out in free air. That's perfect for him. But now that gives Zerner more or less the free chance of passing Romanides, because he doesn't have another guy in between there who also has DRS who he has to overtake. Okay. Meanwhile, Pookie, really good for him, coming out just shy of Berezny. Actually, a little bit further, so he still has some free air, so that's perfect for him. Again, they're seeing just how long these pit lines are. Meanwhile, taking a look, Zerner really far behind Romanides now, only almost 9/10 away from P1. So he surely will probably come in now as well. Let's actually stay on the onboard a little bit and see how he takes on these maggots and Beckett's turn. Again, seeing a lot of braking. Just trying to stay smooth on your inputs there. Now 7.5 tenths, 7 tenths, 6.5. So seeing that, we're gaining almost 3 tenths with DRS. So both of them coming in now. Actually, everyone behind them is coming in. Yeah, again, you can just see the pit lane line is so early that you're just driving on forever with 60 kilometers an hour. Actually, it was interesting to see that the guys that are driving with 61 are now 59 kilometers per hour. Will Zerner get a clean pit stop without hold-ups? Yes, he does. And Romanides already out as well. Still in the front of Zerner. But I think Boda has made up significant time to Zerner, so he's really on his back bumper. Meanwhile, Berezny taking the lead once more, but knowing that he still has to pit. He only served his drive-through penalty, so he won't win this race, sadly. So meanwhile, taking a look, Romanidis right behind Pookie. Actually, Pookie already overtook Romanidis. And now Romanidis is really looking up onto his gearbox. He's still staying behind there. So I believe that Brezny probably will come in this lap to get his fresh set of medium tires. But yeah, all in all the way up, Führer just shy of the DRS zone. With that, having to fear that maybe Nardi and Armengol will make a move and get closer to him. Although Nardi is on older soft tires, since he pitted at the very beginning of the race. So he will get problems towards the end. Now, yet again, onto the hangar straight. Romanidis coming over with DRS, no chance to fight there. Effectively taking the win of the lead of the race once more. Zerner is still looking behind, less than 2/10 away, so everyone is really bunched up together. Only having 6 more laps to go. Actually taking a look there, so we see that Romanidis almost has a full battery. Pookie with 30% less. Kind of similar to Imola, where we also saw that Pookie has used a little bit more ERS than the other guys. Now Kalmar with another 3-second time penalty. That will hurt him a little bit more, seeing that he's now down to 8 seconds. Sorry. So yeah, he not looking for any points at all, which won't be really good for him. Yeah, meanwhile, still at the very front, Romanidis, Pookie, Zerna, as well as Boda. Close to one another, but not close enough. And behind those, all the way up until Sabo, or actually according to Yolo, we have everyone within the DRS range, but not close for an attack. Again, onto the hangar straight. Will Pookie retake the lead? Will he make a move? Not using any ERS, but now Zerner as well, trying to make the double overtake. A little bit of contact there. Pushing Pookie a little bit wide, but currently Zerner and Pookie both running side by side into it, I believe. No, Pookie is taking the overhand, but Zerner effectively moving over to Romanidis into P3, now on P2. In striking distance. Now to take over Pookie from P1. Take P1 over from Pookie. But that overtake surely give Boda the chance of moving in. Boda now trying to make a move there onto Romanidis up the inside. Always the tricky corner because the racing line sees it, since it's a really tight one. You need to take a lot of wide space there to make the corner. And that gives the guy behind you a good opportunity to peek his nose in. But as soon as he does that, he will have a really bad time at the exit, and surely almost every time will lose the corner. Now, taking a look now, will Zerner make the move? Pookie now seeing only with half of Zerner's ERS battery. Meanwhile, Romanidis is almost with a full as well as Boda. So that will be interesting. Now both of them using their overtake moment. And Zerner going up into the inside, surely making enough room there. And now in P1. But will Pookie try to fight back into the next braking zone? No, he won't. Meanwhile there, I believe that, yeah, Modesto has taken over Armengol. Not really, they're fighting side by side. Maybe a little bit of contact was there, but Armengol being defeated by Modesto, who almost now has no battery, so he surely used a lot of that to make that pass. Now having to fight back to, yeah, not lose the gap to Nardi. And Kamar now coming in for his pit stop. At the very front, Romanidis really close here. Fighting in side by side with Pookie now. Which probably will make Zerner a happy man, knowing that those two are fighting. Which gives him the chance to maybe even run away. Seeing that he almost caught up half a second there, but slowly losing that once more. Actually losing a lot of it right now. I believe that he maybe will even try to do the cheeky tactic of bunching everyone up behind, because seeing that he really almost lost half a second there. Now everyone using their ears. Romanides going on to the inside there of Pookie. Maybe even Zerna. No, not Zerna, but Pookie is done. Will Pookie try to make the counter attack into the next hairpin, into the next tight left-hander? Cameraman not really giving me the best angles I want to see, but Pookie stays in P3 for now. Well, taking a look at the back, Nardi also really close to Führer. I believe that Nardi is on old tires. Yes, he is. He's on old soft tires, and surely he will try to finish this race on these tires. Question will he be able to keep it on track with a good pace, or will the medium runners as well as Modestus on soft tires, which are fresh, will be able to counter him? Well, at the very back we see Selle as well as Berezny fighting for themselves in a clean air, not close to one another anymore. I mean, separating a little bit over 1 second, so we don't even have DRS. Yeah, those guys out of the points, no chance at all. Now at the front, into Beckett once more for another 3 times in total. Will Zerna, I actually like this camera, please keep that one game. Yeah. Zerna coming in now. Nobody is making any moves, but Romanides really close onto his rear bumper there. Whereas Limitless is racing in the other split. And Berezny with a 3-second penalty as well, so that surely is putting him now behind Selle. So, lap 12 out of 13, 2 more laps to go. Will Zerner be able to win this race and keep everyone behind him? Seeing as it is, he definitely has the pace, and he definitely has probably the defensive skills. Compared to Pookie, both Romanides and Zerner have the fuller battery, so that is a plus point for them. But now, really close onto the middle straight. Nobody making a move there. Pookie looking up on the out from P3, as well as Boda. Still really close there. But I believe if it is between someone, it is between Pookie, Romanides and Zerna, unless they do a mistake. Actually, everyone behind there is really bunched up to one another. So, once more, seeing how the car rotates and rolls through the corners. They are a stiff ride, but still trying to make it soft so the car can lean into the corner. Now, Romanides making a move on the inside. Zerna not really defending it, making that clean pass. Was that too early? Because we all know we have one more lap, effectively giving Zerna the chance to do the same thing on the next lap with a lot of ERS and DRS, giving a lot of overspeed, making it easier for him to pass. But as it is right now, everyone almost really wide to one another. Nardi, Modesta relatively close. Maybe there will be another change of positions. As for right now, Zerner almost 7 tenths behind, so Romanides is really pulling out an ace. Pushing it really hard now. Trying to get away from Zerner, trying not to get overtaken, and maybe even that is good enough for him. If he deploys all of his energy on the last hanger straight, he will be able to outrun Zerner there. Which crucially could even be a bad case for Zerner, since Pookie is just waiting there for him to do the overtake. So let's take a quick look down at Nardi. He's also really close to the next guy there. Yeah, Zerner now coming out of the Maggots and Beckett sections, 8 tenths behind. That is far too far away, and unless Romanides is doing a mistake now, he won't be able, Zerner won't be able to catch up and overtake him. So that surely was a little bit of lack of speed in the last lap, or in this lap, from Zerner. Meanwhile, behind, I don't see any position change. Nobody's really close to one another. But yeah, We have a winner. Romanides wins ahead of Zerner and ahead of Pookie. So there we have our top 3. Finishing up in P4, we have Boda for S. Martin, which is really important for him because those guys really need to make up some points compared to McLaren, who only will take away 1 single point. So everyone is already done and through, only waiting for Kalmar to finish this lap as well. Also taking 0 points home for Mercedes this weekend. And there we have the final results of race 1. In the lead, Michael Romanides ahead of Sven Zerner, then Istvan Pukki, Boda, Führer, Nader, Modesto, Armengol, Cornignolo, Sabo, Marvin Moritz, Sella, Berezny, and Karmar. Seeing as it is, good job by Nardi and Modesto getting P6 and P7 from P13 and P12 respectively. Yeah, at the very front, Romanides starting position P1, finished in P1, job done. Good job by him. Zerner as well. The Spooky, all of them really close up there at the lead. The little behind them, Boda, maybe just a tad too defensive. But who knows? Maybe he was just trying to, secure those points and not risk anything. So, taking a look there, I hope that we won't need much time before we start with round 2, which is going to be Spa-Francorchamps in lovely Belgium. And yes, it is Radion actually. So, what are your guys' thoughts on this first race? Taking a look at the lobby right now, still missing Aston Martin driver as well as the second McLaren and Mercedes driver. Hopefully we'll have a full grid for the second race there. Yeah, really a shame for Silla as well as Berezny, both getting that head start, jump start there. Especially now in a 25% race, it always is a bad thing. Ooh, sorry. I really went to sleep too late, but that race yesterday surely was too long. Taking too long. No, yeah, but for a 25% race, getting that jump start, it is just fatal. Like, if you're running a 100% race, or maybe even a 50% race, you can do some damage reduction. Especially if you have maybe some luck of, like, a virtual safety car, or, yeah, a safety car even better. Being able there to, just pit and try to do a different strategy, or in a safety car where everybody gets bunched up, as long as you're not getting lapped. With that, you can, really take advantage of it. But yeah, for a 25% race, it kinda also reminded me a little bit of the sprint race we had in real life in Silverstone, actually. There's some competition there at the very start, but mostly the guys are just running in one big train, and seeing as it is on the Hangar Straight, or we'll probably see a similar result now in Spa on the Camel Straight. As soon as everybody's running in one big train, everyone is within that slipstream, and as soon as you drop out of the slipstream, you're left there alone. So it will be tough for you to just break the slipstream and just surpass the other guy, because unless you're the second guy on the first one who doesn't have DRS, the guy in front of you will have DRS as well as slipstream. So you need to overcome that. And with that, you really need a good exit out of the corner, maybe even another guy who pushes you from behind, because we always know that two guys are faster than one guy. Yeah, that's basically what's going to be tough, especially now also on Spa with the Camel Straight. You have another disadvantage. You're going up the hill, so you will need every single percentage or little HP left in power you can get in order to yeah, make up that move, because as soon as you're driving uphill, power is just gonna run away from you. Especially you can really tell that if you turn off your ERS or overtake mode in the high speeds, how your engine will just, or your entire speed will just reduce, although you're running full throttle. Let me quickly take a look if we have anything new. As far as I see, I don't see any new message there real quick, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Let's take a quick look on the track, since we have now another track running. So yeah, Spa-Francorchamps, 7.004 kilometers, the longest track in the F1 calendar, and actually one of the longest track in the entire world, if I'm correct. Like, yeah, Le Mans is longer, obviously, the Nordschleife, longer by quite a lot. I'm not quite sure about Mount Panorama with Bathurst. That could be just as long, or maybe even longer. But yeah, especially, at least for the F1 calendar, this is the longest race of the session, of the season. Always making the races really long. We only have 44 laps in total. So now with a 25% race, we'll only have 11 laps to go. And I believe with that amount, we'll surely see some drivers pitting in really early. Yeah, just simply knowing that the tire degradation will be really fast, because the less laps you have, and then multiplying it down, or here, dividing it down to only a 25% race, one lap effectively is 4 laps. So we'll definitely see some quick changes there. Can you say... Boogly boogly. Where does that come? I only know boogity boogity boogity. Let's go racing, boys. But that is reserved for oval racing. Okay, so taking a look real quick at the lobby, we have 15 drivers in here. McLaren have stocked up, Aston Martin have stocked up. The only guy missing is the second Mercedes driver for now. Ah, you mean that one? Well, I actually did that last time, if you watched the last round. So yeah, we have again Nardi and Romanides in Alpine, Selle and Pucci in the AlphaTauri. We've Cordignolo and Modest in the Ferrari, Zerner and Christian Hausmann in the Red Bull, Berezny and Flexus Marcy in the McLaren. Hopefully this time Flexus Marcy can show us a better pace than he did in Imola. If I remember correctly, he had a little spin there and retired in the end. yeah, for Aston Martin, we have Boda and Andrei Tarabukin. In the Williams, now we have Puy and Ignars. And in Mercedes, currently it's still only Carmar and missing the second guy. So I wonder, who will it be? And where is he? But yeah, next race. Always reminds me that the track map of Spa-Francorchamps looks a little like an Uzi. Ooh, I need some sleep and I need some food. But that will come after the race. And we are full, so I can switch over to the actual race once more. For the second round in Spa-Francorchamps with another short qualifying, this time a full short qualifying. And then again another 25% race. I hope that we'll get a little bit more action throughout, especially in the middle of the field. So yeah, that definitely will be my my hopes. But surely we'll see again some tight action and a train-like formation, which is what I'm going to expect, since after all, again, it's 25% race, everyone is going flat out. You cannot really make that many choices with tire wear, trying to be a little bit preservative, or you're going flat out. It's a sprint race, everybody just has to make their move. If you want to move through the field, you have to make it quick, because if not, time's running out. And as it looks, we have an almost clear sky again. Let me quickly get you the lap data as well. And we have, again, only 15 drivers. So Carmar taking over the Mercedes team all by himself. Yeah. So we have another 18 minutes on the clock for this qualifying session. Oops, that was my phone. Yeah. We'll wonder. Cornignolo has left the session, so I hope everything is right with him. I hope we don't get the same problem we had last time. But currently, Michael Romanides, first guy out to go onto his outlap, as well as Istvan Pukki, and I think Sella is on his outlap as well. Just like in Silverstone, we have the same three guys going for it. Who is going to be your prediction on who's going to take pole this lap by? What are your thoughts, Barta? And Cornignolo is luckily back in business. So we have another 15 drivers all there waiting to set some times in the Ardennes. Actually, there's also a nice song, at least for my taste, which is called Just the Ardennes. Always a nice thing for me to listen to while driving. Yeah, again, a really long lap time. I think you're doing 48, 49 by now, or 54. Not entirely sure. I only know that GTE cars are doing close to, what was it? I think 2 minute 12. But yeah, definitely we'll see a sub 2 minute marker. So yeah. Meanwhile, I think Michael Romanides has taken over for the first one to take a time lap. Let's just stick with him and see how it goes. A little bit of oversteer there out of La Source. Now down onto Eau Rouge. Keeping it flat out mostly, no overstepping, not crossing any white lines. Onto the Camel Straight now, opening up the DRS. getting all the power, all the speed you can get. Always a question, what will you do? Go a little bit lower in downforce to have some straight line speed, or will you take on some more downforce in order to be to have a competitive car in Lecombe, Pouhon, as well as, okay, I don't know the last S's name. Yeah, also here in Bristol. Always no squeakers. Important to not run too wide because you can easily get your off track there. So I'm sure we'll see some guys getting a 3-second time penalty. Not as many as in a 50% race, but I'm sure like 1 or 2. Again, really there on the edge. Ooh, that was too far, as I saw, and we can see it on the track map as well. He has invalidated his lap time. Let's take a quick look. Is Sella and Pookie both are still running their lap and they're not invalidated yet? Now coming around on his way up to Blanchimont. And Nardi is sending me another invite. And as it seems, we sadly have another restart of the lobby. So I'm gonna take that on and I'll join that lobby sadly once more. 2 drivers got banned this time. It's Zerner and Kalmar. Yeah. So, luckily, as it seems, the game has fixed some of the desync issues and problems of starting the race. But, too bad that, yeah, now we have other issues. People are getting banned in the qualifying sessions. I'm not entirely sure. I believe that we will probably get another, one-shot qualifier. I believe that. I don't know. I'm waiting for a confirmation of that from our chef. But I believe that that should be good. And now this guy is sending me a message. Oofala, Wolf. Shit, man. Wait. Let me just do not disturb. Thank you. But yeah. 7 guys are back in here. Hope that we'll have a good round to go. Let me just quickly ask. But yeah. Seems like Formula 1 games will never be bug free. Although I'm really interested. Okay, so I got the confirmation that we'll still be running an entire short qualifying session. So everything should be fine. Just have to wait again a little bit longer, but I guess at this point everyone is used to it. And yeah, we have a cloudy weather as it's settled in the lobby right now. Well, or maybe, just maybe, we'll get some rain in the race. I personally would hope for it. Just makes it a little bit more interesting, you know, just adding that little bit of spice. Probably shouldn't talk about spices or anything because I'm gonna get hungry myself. I can already tell someone is gonna order some food. But yeah, still waiting for the last guys. We currently have 10 people in here, so we're missing 5 if I'm correct. Unless there's a second Mercedes driver coming in. Oh, yeah. Maybe it even was the god of Codemasters knowing and watching the stream and deciding, yo, you guys only running 2 25% races? Nah. Let's make you stretch it out to a 50% race length in terms of stream time, but not actual race time. Okay, so we got 13 people in here. We're almost completed and full with everything. Just waiting a tad longer for everything. $14 people, almost full. Should be good to go in just any second now. Let me take a quick peek on something else in the meantime. Holy moly. So we have 15 people in the lobby right now. I believe that should be everyone. 'Cause I don't see a second guy driving the Mercedes right now. Almost like in real life. Up until the point where Bottas got his confirmation of joining AlphaTauri. Alfa Romeo. Ay, ay, ay. So, in the meantime, I advise maybe some of you grab some popcorn, grab some chips, because probably by the time you're gonna come back, you'll be ready to see some qualifying action. Although you probably will have to wait another 15 minutes then before the actual qualifying action starts. So we have some more lobby updates. Come on, what are we waiting for? You have an eager caster waiting to commentate some live action. Otherwise, I'm just gonna drop out and go into multiplayer ranked sessions of 5 laps and just see some carnage for myself. And as it also seems, some people are fiddling around with the ready button. And as it seems, we switched it to one-shot qualifying. So we'll only have one qualifying lap from each driver at the very same time. Which means the better drivers, who are far more consistent, will fully take advantage of this, I hope. Or assume. Seeing how it ended up in the first race, I believe that probably Berezny, Romanidis, as well as... Actually no, Haddad is not racing with us tonight. But yeah, I kind of put my money now on Berezny and Romanidis for this one-shot qualifying. Since, yeah, how they... running pace-wise, I believe that those guys should be able to do it consistently. But again, open for everyone. Knowing how here Spa-Francorchamps is, you have so many corners where you can easily invalidate your lap time. I mean, just taking a look outside of Radio. You have to the left side if you don't know, because it effectively is a blind kink onto the layout. So you need to know where you need to drive. Knowing that you're driving in the TV cam, or most of us are driving in the TV cam, you can see a little bit more, but just imagine if you're really into the cockpit view, you can see effectively nothing, not even the ground underneath you. Yeah, others, out of squeakers, you have another corner where you can run wide easily. Same for Pouhon. You just need to know it and be fully confident on your lap there. But now... let's take a look, and actually, let's take a look at... who should we take a look? Let's say Christian Hausmann. I haven't seen you in the first race. We had Marvin Moritz up there, so now let's see how he's taking it on. Now here, coming up to Radio. Again, actually, also, let's take a look at his telemetry and see how his inputs on the throttle are. That's always interesting to see, especially through the S's. Now here, taking advantage of the track width from the game given you. Again here, almost flat out through the right-hander. Jumping down Having to trail brake quite a lot here, using the lower gears to rotate your car. Now here again, really running wide on the entry curb there on the outside to make your car be able to pass that corner a little bit faster. Actually a lot of lifting there into the entry of Bouhon. Now again a deep dive in here, chucking it onto the inside, running that curb. He also there, easy way to invalidate your lap time around the exit of this corner, but as it seems like on his inside tires there, he kept it clean. Now here all the way flat onto the second sort of straight, because let's face it, you're running everything flat out, as well as Blanchimont on these Formula 1 cars. With GT3s, you might need to lift a little bit. Formula 1 easy with that flat, that amount of downforce. Now out exit of the bus stop, we don't have the bump there anymore, but Hausmann qualifying in P5 with a 142.111. Meanwhile, almost half a second faster, Berezny taking on the first pole position. Followed up by Sella in P2 with a 41.7, and I think then was the third with a 41.9. So there are some bigger gaps there. Again, just showing the incredible pace of Berezny. But yeah, we have Berezny, Sella, Cornignolo, Istvan, Puki, Christian Hausmann, Pui, Zerner, Boda, Romanides, Ignars, Nardi, Flexus Marcy, Karmar, Modesto, who actually hasn't even qualified, as well as Andrei Tarabukin, and Karmar got disqualified. And seeing Michael Romanides actually tried it onto the medium tires, same for Nardi, so Romanides is forced now to use the medium tires. Nardi, Flex, Marcy, Karmar, Modesto, and Andre have the possibility to choose whatever they want. But the rest of the field all on softs. So this is really important now for Berezny. He needs to make those points in order not to potentially even lose out and be out of the playoffs. Because again, as you might know, P7 and P8 in the championship standings, or in the Constructors' Championship, are going to be eliminated by the end of this race. Okay, so here we have it. Everyone is onto a formation lap. Berezny taking on to the lead. Let's take a quick look. Who is running on mediums? And it is only Romanides, Nardi, Kamar, and Andrei Tarabukin. Again, will be interesting now, since, again, uphill section here onto the Camel Straight, even more important, how to use your ERS. Now the game, powered by AWS, telling us that the strategy to go is a medium at the middle of the race, or then a hard tire if you're starting on softs. I suppose that probably most of these guys will come into the pits by lap 5. Maybe someone will try to, last it a little bit longer to have some fresher tires towards the ends. Because again, knowing you only have 11 laps, one lap is cutting away a lot of tire wear. So we'll wait and see how that turns out. But again, asking around to the chat, who do you think? Who are you guys putting your money on? And there we have it. Everyone is making himself ready. So, as we see from the host himself, he's saying Brezny, and so do I. Maybe our leader Heki can read my mind. But yeah, I'm putting definitely my money on Brezny with Sella right there to make a move if everything runs clean. Here we can still see those really small 13-inch tires, but actually gonna switch the camera now. So we have a green light and boogity boogity boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls. I believe we only have boys. Yeah, Brezny being able to defend his lead there, having a little bit of contact there with Sella, giving Sella the disadvantage there. I hope that his front wing is still fine. Meanwhile, at the very back, seeing that Pookie is almost tried to go side by side with Cordignolo into Orouge, and we have Zerner is out of the race, having a collision there, so that might even be a safety car now. Meanwhile, taking a look there, Sella is trying to make a pass on Berezny, but he doesn't make it, and Cordignolo on the outside there into Lecombe, having a fight there, but Sella can defend himself now on the inside there. Meanwhile, Pookie taking a look from behind there as well, poking his nose in onto the inside, but doesn't seem like it worked, or did he? A little bit of contact there, but Istvan Pookie has also made it through. So that's perfect for him. Meanwhile, Istvan in the very back has made another DNF, so, and we have a virtual safety car. Man oh man, that's a lot of action for a half a lap. Would love to have a replay right now, but as it seems, Ignars and Zerner are out due to some crashes. Well, Berezny still keeping his lead in front of a very hungry Sella and an enormously hungry Istvan Pookie, who has already made up the position of Cordignolo. Let's actually take on and see the position changes. Seems like almost everyone is starting to be ready again for the restart. At the back, Modesto already made up 5 positions. Really strong for him. And everyone, Berezny as well as Pookie and Cordignolo, are taking advantage of the virtual safety car here to take on the medium set of tires and probably, possibly, finish the race on them. Which surely, pit stop time-wise, that will be a huge advantage to those guys. Because we still have a virtual safety car. Not everyone is running on full speed. Which means that these guys, as soon as they're done switching up for their pit stop, they will take a lot more time to will lose a lot more time because everyone around is running at full speed and not at like 50%. But anyway, we have a little bit of a gap between Sella and Romanides, almost 2 seconds there, so he's cleanly out of the DRS zone. Meanwhile, Romanides being followed by Modesto and Flexus Marcy there. So those guys will have a shot. Meanwhile, Flexus Marcy, Nardi, outside of the DRS range, having Kalmar right behind him. All of these guys running on mediums. So it really wasn't that much of an option for them. And as it seems, Christian Hausmann has also done a mistake. And I think he's missing a front wing. Yes, he is. So both Red Bull drivers effectively probably out of this race. Not being able to make any points at all with this round. And Andrei Tarabukin behind him still with... Yeah, clean car will easily make that pass now. And be able to also continue his race. Meanwhile, at the far back, taking a look, Berezny and Istvan Pookie really close to one another. But more importantly, Berezny almost made up the position all the way to Flexus Marcy. And if I'm correct, Flexus Marcy, did he do a mistake? Because he was just behind at the very front. Or am I getting Alzheimer's? No, but yeah, Berezny now taking a look. Still currently has some free air. I wonder how much. Meanwhile, Modesto taking over Romanides' position easily with DRS. So I missed that. But let's take a look here. Still want to stick a little bit closer to Berezny and see how this group is catching up right now. I wonder if Flexus Marcy will let him pass if he managed to catch up. Or if he will defend his position. Now, Christian Hausmann exiting the pits as well now into La Source. So yeah, his race is far from over. Unless there's a safety car, his chances of any points are out of the window. Meanwhile, at the very top, looking ahead, Modesto now over 2 seconds in front of Selle. So Selle is really trying to widen that gap now. Not having to worry about anyone from behind overtaking him with DRS. It's only up down to Romanides getting that position. Only 8 tenths behind. No one gets a really long straight, especially if you combine the runs downhill up to Eau Rouge and then afterwards, after Radillon, up to Lecombe with DRS. The gaps are even more important. Now Modesto with a 43.7. It's not really that far off from the here from the qualifying lap times. Meanwhile, seeing as the intervals change a little bit, Cordignolo really only, as well as Pookie, close to Berezny. So maybe we'll see a move from Pookie here. Or potentially he could also go ahead and save his energy a little bit. Not using any right now. Maybe potentially getting attacked by Cordignolo in the back. But yeah, everyone is really getting closer here, but not enough to make that move. So we'll probably need to wait another 2 laps or so before Pookie is in striking distance of actually making a pass. But I'm sure that Berezny already has a strategy to try to defend himself. Meanwhile, at the front, Selle has already managed to widen that gap to 2.5 seconds. Actually, now only 2.4, but still. Widening the gap and making good use of it. Otherwise, checking the intervals. Seeing everyone is really not close to one another. Now, Selle coming in after lap 4. Will be interesting to see where will he drop out now compared to the other guys, as it seems like I believe that most of the other guys will probably surely will pass him, knowing that the others made their pit stops under the virtual safety car. Although he couldn't really pit as well because simply Pookie was already in the pit lane, and with that blocking him and holding him up, since the gap to one another wasn't big enough. But now Nardi is leading the race right ahead in front of Berezny, who's now in P2, followed by Pookie and Selle, who's actually right behind Pookie. So it didn't seem that close, but now Cordignolo is maybe having a look up on the outside there, running a little bit side by side, but now Pookie is trying to make a pass on Berezny, and he has made it. You know, at the back, we have Selle and Cordignolo running side by side once more through Lecombe, just like in lap 1. So these guys aren't waiting any time at all to make their moves. Well, Andre Tarbukin, the first guy to get there, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I called 1 or 2. One more guy is probably going to follow. That's going to be my prediction for the penalties. But yeah, right now, these guys running in front. Although, we have another similar group of Boda, Romanides, Modesto and Pui, who are also doing almost the same thing. Now Romanides almost trying to attack Cordignolo there. And we have Istvan with the 2nd time penalty. And that is actually it. Wait, that's Istvan Pookie with a 3-second time penalty. So that is really bad for him, because with that he will lose all the way down to P5 after Nardi has pitted now. So for Pookie it really is important now to potentially either let Selle through and hold him up and hold Berezny up, because otherwise he will lose out a lot of points. A lot of points. Meanwhile, Christian Hausmann has retired the car, seeing that there is no reason to continue. Gap simply probably was way too big. So he didn't see any reason to make a move there. But now, taking a look, all of them for Pookie, the only guy without DRS. First off, Berezny is the guy to make a move. Now Selle is also on the inside, making the move on Pookie. A little bit of contact there. Probably was good, but there's a little bit more contact now between Pookie and Corniniolo. I hope Corniniolo hasn't received any damage to his front wing. Doesn't look like it. But in the meantime, Pookie holding up a little bit more of Corniniolo now, giving Selle and Berezny the chance to run away a little bit. So there's almost a 7/10 gap. Meanwhile, Romanidis closed up pretty well to Corniniolo still. Only 3.5 tenths now away. Having the much better line through Pouhon. Really chugging it in on the inside there. We have another slow-moving car in Sector 2, and that is Andrei Tarabukin. Sure, he had a spin there in Pouhon. Maybe he hit the outside curbing a little bit too hard. So that is him out there as well. Now taking a look, maybe the next guy to make a move could be maybe Romanidis. Actually, let me take a look on the telemetry. How we have everyone driving with how much ERS they have left, so seeing how much they can do in overtake. As a matter of fact, Berezny all the way with 90%, so he really is safe on the safer side to do defense. Or play the defense. We got everyone behind with half his battery. And Corniniolo now pushing downhill, as well as Romanidis, but Romanidis is having a lot more ERS, and we have another slow-moving car, but that is, I believe, Andrei Tarabukin, who has also retired the car now. Anyway, right now, Berezny taking it in front of Selle, Pookie on the inside, trying to defend a little bit from Corniniolo. Meanwhile, Corniniolo fighting off with Berezny, and Romanidis is spinning! Took a little bit too much speed there on the inside, maybe a little bit of contact with Corniniolo. But that gave it away from him, so he's out. And no. Interesting to see. Andrei Tarabukin is still on the track. He's driving really slow there, so I hope that he's not causing any issues. But yeah, right now, seeing as it is, Pookie with the 3-second penalty. Boda taking on everyone seems like there is a little bit of a problem. We have a drive-through for Modesto, and I didn't quite catch that. Romanidis is out, and we have a full-on safety car, so that would have been really good for Christian Hausmann. But he retired the car. And I kind of am a little bit speechless now, because due to what happened. Because it seems like, let me take a look, we have Flexus Marcy with... Actually, no, we have Modesta without a front wing. So there surely was some contact. Meanwhile, Selle, Berezny, Pookie... No, actually Selle is staying out, but Pookie, Berezny and Corniniolo, Voda and Puya all taking a pit. Wonder, can Pookie actually serve his time penalty there? I don't think so, because we are on the safety car. And on the safety car, as far as I know, you're not allowed to serve any penalties. Yep, he still has that 3-second time penalty. And having the safety car coming out right now, as we can see, Selle is right behind it. On older tires. Actually, they're only 2 laps old, so it's not really that big of a deal. But seeing that everyone behind him is now on fresh, soft tires, could give the others an opportunity to make a pass. But also, we have to consider, we're in the 8th lap, we have another 3 laps after this. The DRS is not going to be activated until the 11th lap of the Grand Prix. So we only have 1 lap where everyone can try to overtake at full power. And I'm sure that Karma will try to make the move. Meanwhile, Berezny, we know he's fast. But he needs to make a move on Karma ASAP. And everyone else, or yeah, Karma, Berezny and Pookie all need to hope that the safety car is going to come in this lap. Because otherwise, they're running out of time. Well, everyone bunched up all together. We're only missing Modesto, but I believe that since the safety car has caught up to the leader, it should come in at the end of his lap, as well as Modesto catching up the train now. Yeah, I believe safety car should come in this lap. It's pointless that the safety car stays out another time. But we'll see. I haven't seen any confirmation yet. That'd be kind of stupid to keep the safety car out one more lap. But since the gap from Celle to the safety car is really close, yeah, safety car is actually staying out one more lap. That really is a disadvantage for Berezny now and Karmar, giving them a lap less to overtake. But that actually is in favor of Celle, because he has a lap less to make the defense. Plus, it is perfect for him because everyone won't have DRS. Since we have less than 3 laps to go, they don't have simply the chance to activate the DRS. Plus, everyone is on 100% battery. Well, yeah, unless you're right now on the straight where you're gaining a little bit, deploying a little bit and not really harvesting any. But yeah, everyone has a full battery right now. Almost everyone is on fresh tires. There's no DRS, so it will come straight down to the driver to make their skill set worth it and overtake as fast as possible. So I'm sure we'll see 2 laps of full on trying every trick in the book they have. Every single trick they learned from Houdini himself to make their moves. Because otherwise, standings as they are right now will be the race results. Still haven't seen any message for the safety car to come in. I believe that will happen as soon as they pass the 3rd sector line. But yeah, I asked for a crazy race and we got one. Now entering the 3rd sector, and we have the confirmation. Race control saying safety car is coming in this lap. So we'll see, will Celle be able to hold this lead in his on his used medium tires? Or will everyone else be able to take full advantage of it and maybe, potentially, yeah, dethrone him of P1? Okay, and as it seems, race has been restarted by the leader, Celle. Getting a good exit, Karmar right behind there, Berezny, everyone following up in one big train. Will we already have someone making a move on the first lap of the restart? Now, Karmar already deploying all of his energy, same goes for Celle. Everyone is just trying to make that move, push as hard as they can. Using everything. Seeing Karmar right behind him, he surely will have enough power with Slipstream to make that pass, which will be good for Berezny and Pookie from behind to catch up and make that gap. And now Karmar going side by side with Celle in there, holding everyone up, because knowing 2 cars into a corner, not good. Now Berezny smelling the possibility of moving up onto the inside of Karmar, and he's doing it, effectively passing him. Meanwhile, Pookie also now taking a look at Karmar. Meanwhile, at the back, everyone is relatively close to one another. But I'm gonna stick with Berezny because he's really pushing really hard now, going almost side by side into the next left that section. And Berezny actually made it. So you can really see what the dedication of an esport driver here is. And we have a slow moving vehicle, and that is Karmar. So Kamar spun out, and he still has a front wing, but that's out for him. No podium for the Mercedes driver. Now it will be the question, will anyone else be able to make any passes? Keeping in mind, Pookie is currently P3, but with his 3-second time penalty, he will move and be demoted all the way down to, I believe, P8, seeing that Modesto also has a penalty. Also taking a look, Sella almost now a second behind, actually over a second behind Berezny. So Berezny really did his homework there, creating that gap, not having to fight and defend against Sella on the main straight, being able to run his race. Meanwhile, Sella is going to be attacked probably by anyone else, but it seems like Pookie is trying to give him a helping hand there a little bit by fighting off Cornignola from behind, who has now both AlphaTauris ahead of him, having a little bit of contact there. Now Nardi also with the 3-second time penalty. As I said, everyone is trying to push as hard as they can, forcing the track limits practically now. You know, Cornignola really holding up Boda, who's also looking right behind him to maybe make a move. Now Sella with those medium tires. If he can make it, he can try to hold everyone up a little bit further so that Pookie with the 3-second... And we have a collision there! Sella being bumped wide a little bit, caught it luckily, and is now demoted up into 5th place. Which potentially could give Pookie the opportunity to maybe salvage P5 from everyone, unless these guys are really being really smart, and we have a really small gap between Pui, Nardi, and Sella, and Boda has also made it. Oh, and we have almost 3 wide there. Oh, there's too much happening right now. But yeah, we have Berezny winning it in front of Istvan Pookie, who gets demoted, as I predicted, into P5, so he salvaged a little bit. Pui now being P4, Boda all the way up to P2, so that's a perfect result for him in the Aston Martin. And I think it was Pui in P3. But yeah, a lot of action happening there in the final 2 rounds. Safety car always adding a lot of action in there, especially if it's right to the end. And the game giving Boda driver of the day. Definitely see from where he comes, definitely took full advantage of that. But just all in all, most of the guys right now here really pushed the limits, and respectively in their position did an amazing job. So let's take a look at the finals results. We have Berezny leading the race and winning it in P1. Then ahead of his fellow countryman Boda in the Aston Martin. Then we have Cornignola in P3. Pui in P4. Then we have Istvan Pookie with the 3-second time penalty, who get demoted, I believe, from P2 all the way now to P5. Then his teammate Sella. Then Flexus Marcy. And then we have Nardi, Kamar, and Modesto. All of them who lost a lot due to the penalties. Modesto actually seeing that he had 20 seconds of a penalty, so that's a big penalty for him. And all the way behind, from 11 to P15, Romanidis, Tarabukin, Hausmann, Ignars, and Zerner. Everyone crashed out or retired their car, I believe. I don't know about Christian Hausmann, but he surely is biting his nails right now, because if he didn't retire, I don't know if he crashed out, if he retired by himself, he could have potentially gained some positions there with the final safety car. But that's that. Sometimes you're just making a decision too early, maybe. But yeah, that was it for both rounds of tonight's races. Definitely had some interesting races here, interesting battles there. So let me switch it over and go to the thumbnail. I'm so pumped up right now that I would love to talk with someone tonight. Hold on, give me 1 second. Yeah, would love to talk to someone. So if you have anything, chat, to say, do it right now and I can interrogate with that. But what an insane race. First at Silverstone, We had a close battle to one another. Actually, so close that I don't hang straight, except for the first three guys. We had some position changes there, but not really that much of collisions and contact, as well as track limits. But Spa, yet again, resulting with some action, giving us a virtual safety car, a safety car, and some other penalties for other guys, making it really enjoyable to commentate and to actually, yeah, just watch to it. Would love to know the updated standings right now, but we sadly don't have them, since there can still be some post-race penalties for some drivers. Not sure on that, not a steward, just a caster, but we'll definitely see how that played out. I believe that with Beresny taking on this race now, it is really good for the McLaren, probably securing and fighting off the Aston Martins. So I believe that they might be safe for the next round. Since again, P7 and P8 in the championship are going to be eliminated, leaving only 14 drivers for the next round. The lesser we get, the more action we have, since it's only going to be the elite of the elite. Closer than ever, but also makes the job a little bit easier on us, having to cast less guys running at the same time. But yeah, all in all, finished at 8 o'clock. I have, I believe, now another hour left to go before the real race at Coda is starting. So yeah, I'm gonna run our sponsors real quick. Thanks again for Mobiuz, BenQ, as well as Nextel Racing and HyperX. We'll run their ads, and then probably, hopefully, see you all guys next week again with the next rounds of the ORL Champions League. Hope you enjoyed it, and wish you all a good night. See ya.
This
Later.